Hello there. On today's episode of the 1 Year Life Challenge, we want to talk about 3 easy steps to be awesome at everything you do. Hello everyone, as described in the intro, I want to go through 3 steps that allow you to be awesome at everything you do. These are simple steps, however, as you drill down into them, you can start to see how they allow anyone to be fantastic at the path they choose. And as always, I want to start with a quote, and that quote is, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we will unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." Marianne Williamson, probably one of the greatest quotes of all time, and really strikes at a core that you were designed to shine, and we're all designed to shine. And when we all shine, we all give each other the courage to be the very best people we can. You know, choosing a path that you're passionate about, whether it's painting walls or whether it's, building bridges or whether it's being a teacher or whatever role you've chosen, being the best at that and being unashamedly the best and allowing that to shine really touches everyone who comes into your vicinity. I guess from my perspective, being the best version of me started with understanding who I was and understanding what my skills are. There are innate talents in all of us that are manifested from the time we're children. They're coded into our DNA, into that ancient wisdom that's in our DNA. And we all start to see and notice, and sometimes we get feedback from others on what we're great at. I'm going to go through 3 specific steps today on how you can really accelerate that area of your life and become great. And whether it's a new skill you're trying that everyone's always told you to give a go, or whether it's something you're currently doing that you know that you're not just giving your all to. So step number 1 is know thyself. You remember in my video on Alexander the Great on how he went to Delphi and he was going to ask the Oracle of Delphi on whether he's a god, but he had to spend 3 days sitting at the front of the temple, in which he made up his own mind that he was a god and that he was going to go out and lead the Macedonian and Greek forces to victory. Knowing yourself, knowing your strengths is really crucial. Spending a lot of time in those old business books from the 1920s that tell you, work on your weaknesses. No, your weaknesses are gaps and they definitely shouldn't be ignored. But your strengths are your true spirit trying to come out. They're drawing to you to what you're good at. So what are you good at? It's important to grab a list and just write down a list of things of what you're good at, because the secret is within that list is your passion, because you're not fighting the Tao, you're not fighting the way, you're going with what you're good at. So knowing more about yourself, knowing how you react in certain situations is really important. And I would suggest just building a list of all the things you're good at and then working out which ones would be a career or which ones could you really devote the time. There's many books being written that 10,000 hours is the necessary amount of time to become an expert or to become a world leader in a field. Start now. Find your area and start now. But knowing yourself is the first key. Knowing, what will be your excuses, what will be your limitations, what will be the things that you generally get in front of you and get in the way of you being successful, and knowing those triggers so when they come, you accept them as normal and you move past them. The number 2 way to be incredible at everything you do is just pick one thing at a day. If you're trying to be the next marathon runner, next great marathon runner, there's no point trying to run 100 kilometers in a day. That won't make you the next great marathon runner and it'll probably kill you. So just one little thing a day. It could be as simple as, today is the day I start waking up at 5 a.m. And it's just that. You don't have to do any more. You don't have to make today the day where you make up at 5 a.m. and then you go for a run and then you clean the house. That doesn't need to be today. Just remember, if you add 1% to your ability every single day, you would have doubled your capacity in less than a third of a year. And that's just incredible. And the compounding effect, it actually works out to be like 40 days because the compounding effect is 1% a day, just one little thing per day. If you're trying to learn a new language, just learn one word. I know it can sound small, but once you've learned that one word, you can then decide if you want to learn another word. Quite often we make things very difficult for ourselves. We say, well, I could never learn another language, it's so difficult. Well, you can't learn another language, it's impossible. You can only learn one word. And if you decide that today you will learn that one word, you give yourself an achievable and measurable task. It's the little things that count. And as Lao Tzu said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Just look at the step, be present with the step, be present with the one thing you're trying to achieve today, and ultimately that will allow you to be amazing at the job you do. Time moves really quickly, and before you know it, your 10,000 hours will be invested. Before you know it, you'll be meeting people that you haven't seen for a few years who tell you, wow, you've got this nailed, when in reality, you didn't have to take on a massive task, just one thing at a day. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, it was built one brick at a time. And the third way to being awesome at everything you do is simply to practice it, to be it, to step into the shoes or the role of what you see yourself being, whether it's a great at your job or a great relationship or a great partner. Be there, step into it and practice it. Be that person. What would a person who, if you're working on self-confidence, what would a person who's self-confident do today? Because as you practice, you become, and in the art of becoming, you become lost and you become what you want to be. The mind stops ticking over and activity begins, and where action goes, energy flows, and where energy flows, action goes. So it's important just to remove all the barriers and begin, and to practice every single day. One of my favorite sayings is, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly. And what that expression is trying to say is that quite often we say we have to have all these things in a line, we have to be able to be excellent at what we do. In reality, we don't. We just need to start, because the people who start are the ones who get to where they're going. We all had to start from somewhere. At one stage, Bill Gates was a struggling, developer. At every level, Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. The seeds of greatness are absolutely planted in that practice, that daily practice. And just as you practice, you become. Thoughts start to disappear and you really live in your element, you live in the moment. So that's 3 things to become awesome at what you're doing. And remember, it starts with knowing yourself. It starts with saying, what sort of person do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Not what do I want to be, do I want to be a doctor, but who do I want to be? And starting to really look at the fact that this is the life I can create for myself. Once you've done that, pick one small target that will push you forward, one small thing that will allow you to become better at that role you've chosen. And then 3, be it and practice it. Just be it and practice it. You can't mentally, it's like reading, like I always say, it's like reading 1,000 books about surfing for 10 years and then going out and surfing and falling off your surfboard instantly. Because you have to practice, you have to become the surfer. And all the intellectual procrastination in the world isn't going to help you. So 3 very simple steps. I know sometimes it seems insurmountable to become this amazing, incredible individual at a certain task, but it's not. It's been done before, it's been replicated, and you can do it if others have done it. So remember, know yourself, practice one thing, pick one thing a day, small bite-sized pieces, and practice every single day. We're doing that right now. We're just doing 1 video a day. You're not watching 365 videos a day, you're watching 1 video a day, and that's what will create the change. Can't wait to see the 1% better version of you tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.